So my question was, how come you don't just start with the feet, since you already know, or the feet and the hands, since you
Yep.
already know that whatever you diagnose, it seems like is gonna start, you're gonna start doing the feet and the hands anyway. Why don't you just massage that and get rid of all the problems from there?
You know, and that's sort of like how a reflexology treatment could progress, and there's certain reasons why you would, and certain reasons why you wouldn't do that. The reasons why you wouldn't do that is, I personally think the first thing we want to establish with people is we want to get them relaxed in their mind, and I think a head massage is good for that. The second thing we want to do, because it's very painful, foot massage can be extremely painful, and some people have ticklish feet, some people you cannot, it's just, you can't work at the level of depth that's even very effective. The more calm the person is, the more you could start with the feet. The more anxious a person or nervous a person, you would want to start with their head. Right? And then you would want to get assisted belly breathing going, because we can move so much trapped, what I would call energy. I know a lot of people hate that word, but to me, I don't mind the word. I don't have this prejudice against that word energy, because we don't have good English words for whatever it is that's going to move. But you know, you've all experienced the movement of these things, right? We want to get the breathing going first, because otherwise it can feel like it doesn't move properly, even though the therapist could be releasing it. One is that the person may not handle it, so the therapist won't release it, but two, if the therapist releases it, we want to make sure they're breathing. So in my opinion, the first things that we want to establish in a massage is making sure that the mind is relaxed. That the person's mind is not going too fast, their head is not going too much. We want that, and then we want them to. Then we can work on their feet and we can move the stuff, and it has somewhere to go out. So we get the rhythm of the breath going first so that the energy can flow out, the toxins can come out. But in general, I actually do start most of my effective massage with, once I've done that, then I'm at feet or hands usually. I don't start with big, the only way I would start with big muscles of the body is for people that are very used to regular massage and you just want to break them in slowly to things, and you want to diagnose how you want to show people, because a lot of people also, it's so unusual for some people to start with their feet or their hands, and they're like, oh, but my back is sore, or, you know, I've got a sore shoulder, why are you working on my hand? You know, people are what I call stupid, so we need to educate them. and if somebody is what I call stupid about this, you know, most people don't understand this, and they go, oh, it's my shoulder. I would actually go, oh, is it this spot in your shoulder? Is it this spot? And they're like, yeah, oh, that's my spot right there. And then I'd trace it down physically. And I'd show them why we're working on the hand, because we also don't want to work against people. We're working in the partnership model of medicine, and a lot of people, if you just work on their hands and their feet, their mind could be going, oh, why are they doing that? When we don't want their mind focused on that. We want their mind focused on, oh, I'm going to breathe in a non-judgmental manner over any emotions that are trapped there, and just breathe and let it out. So that's the reason. But yeah, generally speaking, early on in the treatment, we're going to be doing that, and we're going to spend 7. Yeah, and the reason we diagnose is because we usually want to get the worst out first. So, for example, instead of just starting, say, with your right foot, I want to diagnose and go, well, which side of the body is tighter? Is your left leg tighter, or is your left? Is your right? Which hand is tighter? So usually by diagnosis could lead to again, more efficient use of it. It may even be that one band is tight in your right arm, and the second tightest band in your body is on your left foot. And so I might focus, if I have an hour, I might focus for half an hour or however long it takes to significantly reduce the tension in that band, then come to this band and do that. In my first series of treatments, so I usually say, for example, if we're dealing with a person in a middle-aged category or a younger age category, as distinct from somebody up in their 80s who's got a lot longer treatment, I would, in one of my first treatments, I would do a bit of general. So my first treatment would be, I work everywhere in the body. My next treatment may continue to be general, or it may be that in that first treatment, we've established that, wow, their right leg is really tight because of their foot. And that might take me 2 hours. So I would then book them in for a 2-hour treatment, and the whole treatment would just be focused mostly on this right leg. And then my next treatment, I might do their left leg. And then the following treatment, I do their arm, and then their other arm. And then that would be a cycle. And then I would come in and do another cycle. And then on my second cycle, I'm more likely to find what I call stubborn tension. ones that didn't let go in my first 2-hour session on that limb. And I'm gonna focus more on that particular stubborn tension in that treatment. But again, everybody's different. So now as I was talking about with you guys before, we were on camera about Phyllis, and she's 82. And when she came into our clinic, she was so tight everywhere. She also had a lot of varicose veins and a lot of problems, but incredibly enthusiastic. She'd never had a massage before she turned about 79 or 80. She just was running our, on the committee that ran the hall that we were renting from doing our courses, and she was bringing in some toilet paper or some stuff one day, and we're like, oh, what are you doing? You know, and we're like, oh, we got a massage course, why don't you come on in? And she was virtually about to go into a wheelchair, she was so tight. And Phyllis has been remarkable. I mean, you know, for the last 2 years now, she's been seeing a Raynor therapist locally there in Gympie every week, once or twice a week. And the changes have been incredible. Her doctors are now seeing Raynor massage because her arthritis is reduced significantly. But even then, from our point of view, we've made about 50% progress. So because if we work very deep, it's too painful for her. And it's not because she can't handle, she's breathing, she's letting go. It's just when we've left tension that long in the body, it takes some time to reverse. So I know, because I normally say most people need 10 to 40 hours of massage, she might need 200, 300. But what an investment. And her life, she now looks, after 2 years, she looks about 60, 65. And her doctors can't believe it. They're all sending patients to our Raynor therapist there in Gympie, and the reverse has been incredible. But would have been better, far better, to have prevented it. You know, the old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So when people are younger, get that tension out. Do what I call the excavation, which is to excavate the tension, then move into maintenance. When you're younger and your life will be better, increased lifespan, longevity, plus quality of life is what we're really looking at, you know. Because as people age, you know, the problems of tension really start to compound upon each other. You know, it's one thing in your 40s. I always see it starts to really kick into people mostly in their 50s. And then the 60s, it starts to get pretty bad. In the 70s, if it hasn't killed them already, it's getting really bad. In the 80s, you know, and well, you know, that's half our life. And that's when you talk to a lot of people in that age group, half the time they're talking about their health problems, if not more. My hip, you know, this, that, you know, but if you look after people when they're young, you know, and keep them, it's the best, keep them loose, it's the best way. But we can still take somebody like Phyllis and reverse that procedure of age, what people call aging. There is natural aging. Of course, our body gets older, but what a lot of people in our society think of as aging is I'm just getting stiff. It's what I call aging of tension. It's not aging of the body, it's the aging of the tension. That does not have to be part of the aging process. A person could stay loose through